Good morning. Okay, so this morning I'm actually in a great mood and I figured we could do like a 2 cents Tuesday because lots of thoughts have been racing through my mind and yeah, I've got lots on my mind and I need to think aloud so that I can figure out what I'm thinking. And it's very difficult for me to think aloud to the air. You know, it's something my father used to do. He used to talk to himself to hear himself think. And he'd always get really upset, of course, when, me, the observant child who constantly pointed things out, right, would come along and say, "Dad, you're talking to yourself." And he'd be like, "No, I'm not." Right? Well, I talk to myself because I need to hear out loud my thoughts. Now, I hear my thoughts in my head. Lots of people do. It's, what is it? I forget what it's called. But some people visualize in their mind's eye, and some people hear in their mind's ear, and many people have both of those qualities integrated and actually see video and hear audio at the same time in their imagination, right? And that's how they think. But I'm not like that, right? I'm an ear person, so I hear in my mind, but I don't visualize in my mind. So this is a feature of my nonverbal learning disability. And I'm working on it, actually, because we also know that the brain is plastic. And this is an issue I've been working on, thinking about for a long time, is what is the line between neuroplasticity and disability, right? So I had my first child at 19, which is young. And there's a whole story. I'm going to be writing that story one day after I write the other 50 stories I have planned. Gotta live. Got a lot of stories. Okay. But so the line between neuroplasticity and disability is it's a line that is invisible. It has to be experienced to be understood. And it's probably undefinable. I have a thing. What is that? Oh, it's just a hair. Okay. So when it comes to making a diagnosis for an individual, like, I believe in neuroplasticity and I believe in neurodivergence, right? I believe in learning, but I believe in being true to oneself. All right. And so they're both two ends to me. My thought is that they're two ends or two faces of the same brain. Makes sense, right? That's not a leap. All right. And so what that means to me is that logically there are conditions where there is plasticity possible. And then there are conditions where plasticity is less possible. And we as human beings can adapt endlessly, really endlessly. But in our adaptation, we crystallize and we become who we are, right? And who we are is, in part, how we adapt to experience. So it's not actually two different things, and at some point we switch from neuroplasticity to neurodivergence. It's the same thing looked at in two different ways. So I've done a degree in psychology. It was an undergraduate degree, but it was honors. And then I did a master's in child studies, and then I did all the coursework for a PhD in education. And so what I mean to say is that I've done a lot of statistical study to understand what stats mean and how they're derived and how they're used and all of that. And I did it because I was trying to understand what a diagnosis means, because my son, my firstborn, had so much divergence. Poor baby, really, you know? Yeah. When he was born, I only believed in plasticity. I didn't even know about neurodivergence. Like, I didn't know that there was such a thing. I thought that everyone had as a Buddhist, I thought that everyone had equal opportunity to become enlightened. And I still believe that everyone does, regardless of the state of your brain. Every consciousness can become enlightened to a certain extent. And by enlightened, I mean self-aware. Okay? Lots of people don't want to define enlightenment. It's because they don't know what it is. It's not that complicated. It's self-awareness. It's really not a big deal. And it was through my son that I learned that there is such a thing as a diagnosis, and there is such a thing as a neurodivergence. And now I'm learning about it in me. So weird. All right, so accept the things we cannot change, right? And change the things we can. And be wise to know the difference. I hate that poem. And by hate, I mean love. Okay, love you too. Have a wonderful day.